Hello everyone, my name's Jonathan Bingham, also known as Opal, also known as JJ Bing Games. Today we are doing something a bit different here on the channel, and instead of doing a bit of gaming, I'm going to teach a little bit of C Sharp. So today we are learning the basics of coding in C Sharp, namely setting the field and doing a bit of number work. So by the end of today's lesson, you will have a little random number game. So getting into setting the field, we will be using a function called using. And the using function is basically telling the code basically telling the system that, you know what, this is the repository we're using, and it gives us a load of useful tools to use within C Sharp. Now, we are using, so to set the field properly, we need to use using system. Make sure to use it as capitalized in system, in lowercase. As you'll see, part of it's gone blue, part of it's white. We just do that. And following on from that, we need to put in using system dot collections dot generic, and then we put in this little doohickey. Always remember to put your colons in at the end of whatever you're doing. They are important. If you don't put them in, you will get error codes. It's just how C Sharp works. And then continuing on, using system. That would help if I could spell properly. System.ling. And again, colon. And coming into using system dot text. Now, as you'll see as I'm doing this, you get little doohickeys coming up where it says system here. That is basically caused by the rest of this, because it'll give you, because we're using the system resources, it gives you everything you need. And system dot thread. So if when you're typing, it'll like so. So it's good for people who can't be bothered to do the whole typing part. But that's not what we're about today. I am expecting you all to be typing, because the best way to learn is to do. So, now that that's done, we are now using the system. That is the first thread done. Now, we need to further set the field. So, we use the namespace function, and we'll call this number. Number under dash testing. Number under dash game under dash testing. always capitalize your N's, your G's, and your T's. Not all of them, but you know what I mean. Starting ones. Now this is a funny one because you don't actually need to use your colon for this, so we can just boop. And then following on from that, one thing we do need though is we need to add in a bracket. Not just any bracket, this funky bracket. And then from there we are using class capital P program. And then of course we come down and we are wanting another set of brackets. Also, it's not link, it's link. I am dumb. I do apologise. As you saw there, if we actually, this is a good learning point. If we come here, because I had it as ling, because my dyslexic ass, we will see down here we get an error. That's what I love about Visual Studio. It will always tell you errors, and it will say the namespace name ling does not exist in namespace system. Are you teaching missing an assembly reference? So when you're using that, you can go back and check it. It's link with a Q. Now moving on. Now we need to make up a window, because if we hit play, we're not going to get anything. We've got nothing. There are no build errors. Okay. So apparently I've got an error. Programming method suitable for an entry point. Yes, I know that. We're getting to that. Shut up. Just ignore this. So now, as you saw, as we press play, we got fuck all. We got nothing. Excuse my French. So, continuing on, we need to make the box. We need something that everything will go into. So, we start by going static void main with a capital, and then we put in a nice normal bracket, and we put string args. What have I pressed? String bracket bracket args, and close it off with a nice little bracket like so. And then we come down and we put in another nice little bracket. Oh shoot. Like so. And just to double check, we've got that, and we've got that. Yep, we're fine. And now that'll create the little box. So if we hit this now, we get our little void. We'll get that box, which is what we want. So, just as all fun things, we write we'll get something to fill that box for now. So we put console dot right line. We put in our little brackets, and we put in exclamation points, and we'll write hello world. So have you ever heard programmers talking about hello world? This is why, because it is the most common procedure to learn coding. And of course, don't forget your little semicolon. And now we have our field set. So we hit play. We get hello world in the nice little debug console. Everything's good. And you have just successfully set up your field. So, what we are going to do is we are learning numbers. So, we have, if we go up to the top here, so in C#, we have 3 different things. We have integers, we have floats, and we have doubles. And these 3 different numbers all have certain aspects. They're basically storeholders of numbers. Now, in the terms of things, an integer is represented by int. A float is represented by float, and double is represented by double. I'm just trying to find a little table that is helpful, because I'm a bit dumb and I'm not good at remembering a lot of information. There's a good table that represents what each number, like what each thing does. An integer stores it in a 32-bit format, I know that. A double stores it in a 64-bit format. And floats, I have forgotten what they store. So if you give me a wee second, I will figure this out. So So, if we do something like this. So, in your tables, write int I is equal to 17. If you can't remember, oh, sugar, bad practice there on my hand. Float x is equal to 17.0 f, and double y is equal, oh no, y is equal to 17.0. So we have 17 represented in different ways. We have it as an integer, a float, and a double. So if we press play, nothing happens because we don't have anything to do. It's assigned but never used. That's what that's telling us. So, but what we are here for, the int version here, we double line, and so this is a 32-bit integer, 32-bit integer, stored in 4 consecutive bytes. So it would be 0x1234511. This is that bit there is a hexadecimal. So the float also uses 32 bytes, or 32-bit integer. 32 bits, but it's a different pattern. And that uses 0x41880000. And lastly, the double is a 64-bit integer. Stored in 8 consecutive bytes. So that would be 0x41000000. This is, don't worry, you don't have to remember any of that. That is just explaining what these things do and how they work. So it's a 32-bit on 4 bits, a 32 with a different pattern, and a 64 containing 8 bits. So, now we have that. I'll keep that there because it can be helpful, but yeah. So, now we have this little bit here, the int float double x and y. If we go down, because we've written that in, when you hit play you get nothing. That is because we haven't told it what to do. So we need console.writeLine, and then we can put in a fancy little piece saying, so I is equal to bracket 0 bracket comma x is equal to 1 and y is equal to bracket 2, and we put in our little things, but we're not finished there. If we put a comma and we put I comma x comma y bracket doohickey. I keep forgetting they're called semicolons, so if you hear me say doohickey, I do apologise. Now we write it in, we get I is equal to 0, x is equal to 1, and y is equal to 2. If you have done it all correctly, that's what you should be able to get. But now, here's the interesting thing. If we change these brackets over, so and we change it to these funky little brackets, I is equal to 0, comma, x is equal to 1, comma, y is equal to 2, comma, exclamation points. And if we put I, x, y, semicolon. Now we do it, we'll get I is equal to 17, x is equal to 17, and y is equal to 17. Reason being is, if you use standard brackets, it won't know what function to do. If you use these functional brackets, it's basically going, oh, we need to use these. So the importance of what brackets you use is very important. Also, C# is just picky that way. Now, what we're going to do is, at the end of main, so under here, what we are going to do is something fun. Well, I say fun. So, pardon me. If we put I is equal to I plus 1, comma. Remember your semicolons, not commas. If we put x is equal to x star, where's my star? There's my star. X star 2. And if we put y is equal to y slash 3.0, comma, and now we write console, bright line, brackets, and just the same as what we had up here. So I is equal to funky little bracket 0, x is equal to funky little bracket 1, and y is equal to funky little bracket 2. And again, your thingies, comma, I, comma, x, comma, y, bracket, semicolon. Now, if we hit run, we'll get something fun. We'll get I17, x17, y17, but also we get I is equal to 18, because we did I plus 1, we'll get x34, because we put x times 2, and y divided by 3, and we get 5.66666666667. Now, because it is to 8-bit points and a 64-bit, that's why. And that is basically your number functions. Now, what we need to do is delete that work that we've just put in. I know it's not fun when you've got to delete work, but we don't need that anymore. That was just a learning curve. Because now we need to learn for our game. We are needing to learn random numbers. For random numbers, we need the computer to generate a random number between 1 and 100. So, way to do that, because nothing is really random, we need to tell the computer what to do. So we go random R&D equals new system dot random, and close it out with your brackets and your semicolon. And now underneath we write, that's of course integer random number equals R&D dot next, and we put in brackets 1 to 100. Close it off and we put in that, and now console dot write line, and if we do random number is equal to funky little brackets 0, funky little bracket, close it off with your exclamation point, comma, and random number. Close it off with another bracket, and finally your semicolon. Now if you just run this a couple of times, number 19, and again, number 19, and again, number 5, and one last time, 18. So, you have just made a little piece of code that will randomize numbers. So, better explain it. This first line creates a new random number. So this line creates a new random number generator, and we called it R&D. So the rnd.next call returns a random number between 1 and 100. Don't know why that's in caps. And 100. The result is meaning so a number greater than one but strictly less than 100. So if we were to change system.random brackets into a seed, so if we were to change this into, say, 4251 and bracket it off, we will get the same number over and over again. 56, 56, and 56. That is because we have just put in a seed. And a seed basically generates what we want under the guise of randomness. So go ahead, take that seed out, just leave that blank, and just delete everything else because we don't need that anymore. Because what we are about to do is generate a random double. So go ahead and go random rnd is equal to new system dot random, and we are going to go double this time. Random double is equal to rnd dot next double, open close, semicolon, and finally console dot write line da random double is equal to bracket 0 bracket comma random double. press play, we will get a random double, which will be greater than or equal to 0.0, but less than 1.0. Now, we have covered numbers. Yes, numbers can be boring, but they're vital. But because you have suffered that, we are on to the fun part of putting what we have learned into a little fun game. So, if we put console dot writeline and in brackets, we'll put if you're a fan of Jigsaw or Saw, then you'll get the reference. So we'll put want to play a game. Now, we need to generate a number for us to guess. Do you remember how to do it? If so, I will let you pause the video just here, write the random number code, and come back and follow. So, in that case, it's random R&D equals new random number. And we'll be using integer, int number equals R&D dot next, and we'll do it 1 to 100 through 100, and then of course console writeline sugar, I forgot my spoon. Console dot writeline guess the number between 1 and 100. Close that off, bracket it off, and semicolon it. So, just double check it works. There we go. Want to play a game? Guess a number between 1 and 100. That is your first line of code for a game. So, we need to temporarily test that everything's working in the background. Because how else will we know? Oh, the game's not working properly. So, after the R&D.next statement, here we want to write console.writeline, and in the little brackets we want number is equal to our funky little do-ha brackets, and we want it to tell us the number. So now if we run it, we will see that the number is 89. So the program is running correctly. But how do we know that the numbers are all being generated equally? So we are going to write a little bit of code to help us with this. So when checking for a bit of code, we will write for int, and of course I is equal to 1, semicolon, and I, b funky arrow, is equal and do I plus plus end bracket space, and now we need a funky little bracket, and in between the brackets we need to put int counter is equal to 0, and then for int j is equal to 1, semicolon, and we need to put j funky little arrow $10,000 j plus plus and bracket, and now we need to come down again. We need to open up another set of brackets, and then of course number is equal to rnd dot next, which is of course bracket 1 and 100, closed bracket, semicolon, and if number is equal to I counter plus plus semicolon, and in this little bracket here console dot write line frequency of 0 is 1 of 10,000. And just underneath that, no bracket just yet, comma, I, comma, counter, bracket, semicolon. Now we run it, we will see that all numbers are fairly equal. The only one that isn't is 100. I wonder why that is. Because if you remember previously, this is more than or equal to than 1 and strictly less than 100. So we need to change that. So take out that and make it 101. Now we do that again. It's still 0 or 100 because I've messed up somewhere. Just double check everything. Change it all. And let's try this again. There we go. 100 is 104 out of 10,000. Perfect. Now we're working. Now, it'll be a bit of a bummer to just delete all this code. You know, we don't need it anymore. So instead we will double slash it here and double slash it here. Oh, oops. Star double slash. Is it? So instead of deleting it, we'll go slash star and then star slash star then star slash. There. So now when we run it, you won't see any of that. Make sure you get all thingies, all your brackets. If you don't get all your brackets, then you'll get errors when you're doing that, just like I did. So, continuing on. Now we've done that, we need to sort of, add something so that we know what the fuck's going on when it comes to guessing. I'm just deleting all this because, yeah, you can keep it in. So, here. How the hell are we going to add in guesses? Well, stick around and I will show you. We need int guess bool valid comma. Now valid is equal to int 32 dot try pass console dot read line out of guess. Now we need if valid if brackets if guess is equal to number funky little doohickey brackets console dot write line you win. Woo! You're a winner. We need that bracket and return. And of course, we need that bracket with that there. And then underneath we need console dot write line bracket commas you lose. So we were to hit play now. Oh, guess the number 75. Oh man, we lose. Now, we have the code, but we want to keep guessing now. If we get it wrong, we want to be able to keep guessing. So, what we need to do after valid, we need to do something else, don't we? So, after the declaration of valid, we can delete this. We can put while true Right, delete this. We don't need it anymore. What we need to do though is here, after the valid statement, we need to put while true. Funky little brackets. Now we need that whole valid is equal to int (32) dot try parse console dot read line bracket guess, bracket, semicolon, and we need if valid, and again if guess is equal to number, in here put funky little bracket, console right line, you win, you're the winner, you win, and then we can call this return statement. Now we need another statement. If valid console right line, brackets, invalid input. Input. Try again. And then just underneath here, if we put semicolon, we need continue. Also helps to keep a very tidy workspace. If your workspace isn't tidy, you will be unhappy. You won't be unhappy, but it'll get confusing. And then last if statement. If guess number little arrow console console.writeLine tool please try again. Else console, not right line. Too high. No.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
There we go. Problem fixed. So, now if we hit play, we can go 20, 20, 29, say 50. Too high. Oh, 34. Yay, we win. Now, we have a bit of an issue now. We've been told what the number is up there. What are we going to do? Well, if we have a look at the code, we've got console.writeLine here. So, again, instead of just pure deleting it, double slash it out. And now we have completed the game. Ta-da! Now you can save that. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've learnt something useful. I have been JJ Ben Games, and thank you for watching.